So now our stories reading session has almost come to an end. Now it is my part, okay? I will talk to you. Convey my thanks to the short story writers. So really, you have given us a memorable time. We'll remember your stories. And I think short story, what it is? Short story, it's like a matchstick illuminating a corner of life. And this illumination is concentrated at the same time has its own depth. And in short story, craft is very important. But at the same time, the content is also equally important. There must be a perfect balance between the content and the form. A perfect story always exhibited this harmony between the content and the form. And another point is that, generally speaking, regional literature, in regional literature we can see the Indian society in different colors, in different hues. And these stories reveal life in different colors and multidimensional colors. So these stories, they are from Dasgupta, from Hindi, from Konkani, from Maithili, different languages and from different societies. And all these stories illuminated the Indian society in a very beautiful manner. So all the stories are lovely, all the stories are beautiful. The first story writer, he was Ranga from Rajasthani, and we know Rajasthani position of Rajasthani women. And in this story, Ranga, he attacks the male ego, and at the same time he portrays the male chauvinism. So the character Rekha and her life reveal the sexual harassment in her workplace. And at the last part of the story, we can find that Rekha's husband also wants to use her. And in this short story, Rangaji reveals men in different faces. Then next story is Balaramji's Hindi story, Mashiach Ka Eyes. It's a political story. And already I have told you, the stories are multidimensional. The stories exhibit different colors, different hues. The second story, he creates a very tense situation. So the Messiah is there, 100 audience are there, and it is a familiar situation for us. It is rebellion. And there is he narrates a talk between Messiah and the youth. And here, from this dialogue between the Messiah and the youth, we can come into conclusion to this point that we can change the society by snatching power. So the next story, in a very poignant way, he reveals the heartlessness of a city. Completely cruel society. And it is also a very beautiful story. Then in Acharjya, this Konkani story, he reveals the fate of a girl. And the name of the story is Kannda. And in this story, he explores the irony of fate. And here also, he is a critic of the present medical system. And also, he brings out the fate of a girl's side in our society. So, the would-be father, he attended a conference, then he went to the hospital to meet his newborn girl child, and there we can see the irony of fate, that the girl child, she suffers from respiratory problem and she dies. The story doesn't come to an end here. Now the story writer, he proceeds to a newer realm. And here you can see that there is a imaginary dialogue between the dead child and the father. Father doesn't want to donate the body of his girl child to the medical authority, but the imaginary voice of the girl child insists that her body must be given to the medical authority for further research. So this, here you can see at last the writer, he not only explores the irony of fate, but he conquers emotion and he becomes practical, and there is a new hope. So their next Kamal story, it is Sindhi. So Gumshuda, missing. Missing from what? Missing from life. So here we can find that it was election time, it was very tense, and she explores the mafia world. And this world is the world of crime and cruelty. And there's the character Sonny. Sonny is missing. And she questions, and this is a refrain. Where is Sonny? Sonny is missing. But missing from what? Not only from home, but from life also. And here she presents in front of us the pitiful sight of a rehab. So in this description of the rehab, we can find a group of frustrated youth. And Sonny, he is in coma. And the writer, under the story, the writer's question, it is of course undercurrent. It is a question. Yes, Sonny is in coma, but she thinks, we also think, that a whole new generation is in coma. And Sonny is in change. So it attains a symbolical meaning here. The story, it attains a symbolical meaning that Sonny is in coma, Sonny is in shame. So it is not Sonny, but a whole youth. So here is a protagonist is Sonny, and I think Sonny is not the protagonist, but the writer is the protagonist. She questions about the status of the youth. So I, being a teacher, I have seen the amount of frustration that the young generation have to carry. So it's also a beautiful story. Then another Maithili story is the Pathar, the stone. And in this story, very boldly, he brings out the picture of our divided India. Yes, our India is divided. One side is India, and other side is Bharat. India belongs to the there is only 100% millionary, and in the Bharat, the general people, we live. So he brings out a very bold picture of a divided India. And another story, Use and Store, though it's a very small story, but it also contains a very deep meaning in our society. Gradually, we are losing our values, and like the bulla, everything is in the market. So market or profit dominate everything. And in this beautiful story, the writer, he is in a search for a humanitarian world. In a dry, cruel, valueless society, the writer, he is in quest of a humanitarian world. So these are writers. So writers, they are dreamers. They dream, they question, they protest. And here also the writer, he protests and he dreams of a humanitarian world by giving us the picture of the cruel society that is use and throw. There is another story from Darjeeling. So he gives us the description of the nature. It is continuous raining. So I think raining is the refrain here. Like the raining, continuous raining, no sunshine, no joy. The protagonist, the girl, see her life is also full of rain, no sunshine, no hope. You know, she is a neglected girl. And she always, the writer, he insists in this description that she is a dubli patli. She is very weak. So she is the weaker sex. So here also he attains a symbolic meaning. She is dubli patli. She is weak. That means she is weaker sex. So the society demands give us a male side. So as if, you know, woman is responsible for not being able to give birth to a male child. So we know, all of us, we know the science behind it. So we know the science behind it. Women are not responsible for not able to giving a male child. We know the science. So here you see, the societies, the grandmothers and other members of the societies, they long for a male child. And while narrating the dubli patli girl's second time pregnancy, the writer, he assumes the role of a protester, that he becomes a critic of the patriarchal society. So it is also a very beautiful story, and I feel I am very privileged to hear these stories. I like it, I enjoy it. I hope all of you enjoy these beautiful stories. Here is India in different colors, in different hues. This we cannot get in an English or that is literature. We get it only in the regional literature. That is why regional literature is very important, and we must be able to put it forward, because in regional literature there is the real life. There is the suffering, hopes and aspiration of the Indian people. So thanks to the brilliant social writers and the audience. Thank you.
Thank you, Arupaji, for chairing this session. We heard wonderful stories that she gave us the synopsis of each and every, critically acclaiming each and every story. I must thank the chairperson for doing that, and also all the storyteller readers for reading such wonderful stories, and well appreciated by the chairperson and all of us. Thank you so much. This was the last session of our Abhivyakti program. I would like to thank everyone who has come here for the last 2 days, read papers, stories, poetry. It's been a pleasure to hear all of them, and we thank each and every one for coming and making this Abhivyakti such a success. I would like to thank all the chairpersons and the paper readers, storytellers and poets once again for coming here, and I would also like to thank the audience who were very patiently listening for the last 2 days, coming here and listening, though it is a very small gathering, we were expecting more, but all the same, even one person in the audience makes a big difference. So thanks for the audience also for being here, and I would like to thank our President Chandrasekhar ji for making it possible to have this 2-day Abhivyakti, and before that the translation prize, where we had the award ceremony, and also the translators also read out in the translation meet, and also the Vice President and the Secretary Sahitya Akademi, Dr. K.S. Raji, to give us this opportunity to be in Guwahati and have such a wonderful program for the 3 days. Thank you everyone. I would like to thank also the media people and our staff from Calcutta and Delhi who have worked throughout to make this program a big success. It is their labor too. So thanks everyone, and please join us for lunch. We have lunch for everyone. Thank you once again.